Super. So, hi everyone. Excited to be here. Today we're going to talk a bit about different topics, mainly around the blockchain and the entertainment industry. We're going to be talking about music and gaming, and we have a great group of leaders. So, first off, I think I'm going to start off with like an intro about who you are and what you're working on, and then we can get to our questions. So, why don't we start with you, Andre?
Hey everyone, my name's Andre. More professionally, I go by the name RAC, and I've been an artist and musician since 2007. But I've been pretty deeply involved in the Ethereum ecosystem since 2017, where I became obsessed with these things, and I think I had almost like a naive sort of vision of what it could be a lot sooner than it really is, and it's been an amazing journey sort of getting to that place, and it's been a real honor to sort of like be a part of that conversation and this ecosystem. So thank you for having me.
We can continue.
Hi, my name is Joseph. I'm a co-founder of Madhouse. Madhouse is a K-pop entertainment agency which has Triple S and Artemis as our artists. And also we are a developer and operator of Cosmo, which is K-pop fan community platform. And thank you for inviting me to this place. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Suji of Mass Network. We started doing social network, decentralized social network back in 2016. And then we realized there's always like 5 teams doing 10 protocol, but it's actually the same thing. And we try to say, hey, dude, don't fight, we want to merge together. So we eventually launched our token, Mass Token 2021, and we even started a venture arm doing acquisition, investment, incubating all in one. In terms of like social and entertainment, there's I think 50 different gaming company, 20 different social protocols, but they never talk to each other. We feel it's like super stupid. We just want everyone talk, and we just connect everything together. So that's basically Mass 2. Like I always say, we are just 5 years away from mass adoption. The first time I said that was 2017, and I think we're still 5 years away from mass adoption. And that's what Mass doing, put everything together, and we're mostly social gaming stuff, yeah.
I think we're already in mass adoption. We already passed, you know? Hey everyone, Ronan here, co-founder of Game7. Game7 is a gaming community that focuses on 3 core problems, which is player acquisition and retention, distribution, and economy management. I've been in the space since 2016. I started the blockchain at Berkeley community back then, and then led a few VCs since then, and now I'm here focusing on bringing mass adoption in gaming with a gaming use case.
Hi, I'm Ro. I'm a director in tech in Oasis since 2018. I have been part of Double Jump Tokyo, where I developed my crypto heroes on Ethereum. So the blockchain game that ranked top in volume, trading volume, and active user for 2019 for 1 year. So during my experience of micro heroes, we founded Oasis, the blockchain design for gaming. So Oasis adopts a 2-layer architecture and has already rolled up more 10 layer 2 solutions, and more than 40 blockchain games already have been released. Oasis since our mainnet launch since 2022. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for the intros. Yeah, there's definitely like, we'll be talking a lot about gaming and music, and also like how social media fits in. So my first question, we did touch upon it a bit, and Suji, you mentioned interoperability and stuff like that, but I kind of want to start off with Andre, and if you can talk a bit about like how you see the music industry being shaped by blockchain, what kind of, especially around maybe fan engagement, or just kind of want to hear your perspective on this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the problems of the music industry, because I feel like even most consumers sort of are at least aware of that. it's like many other industries. There's a sort of an incumbent, a very powerful incumbent, and there's not a lot of malleability in that. So I feel like it was always one of those first kind of, let's call it, targets for blockchain technology. Let's a lot of people are like, okay, let's use crypto, let's use Ethereum to sort of disintermediate, and that's a great idea in theory, but we haven't actually made that much of a dent yet. I mean, we have in some ways, but not fully. So it's been I think it's been like kind of a trying time to sort of like put a dent in it. So I don't mean to be overly pessimistic about it. I think it's been actually like an amazing experience to learn like where the weak spots are in that industry, if you will. And a lot of people have focused on the asset side of it. A lot of people have focused on sort of like changing the methods with which that industry already operates in, which they have no leverage in. So basically, the only way that I think this thing kind of moves forward is if we try to create novel behaviors and kind of meet fans where they are. So it's I think like there was kind of a brief moment in the NFT, let's call it mania, with music NFTs, where there was actually like a tremendous amount of optimism, and I was also like very excited about it, and I think I watched my industry sort of embrace crypto in a way that I had never experienced before, and I was getting some very crazy texts from people that I never thought I would hear from, because they were very interested in this kind of thing. And it was wild to see that rise, to see the backlash from fans, and then sort of like the waning of that interest. And I think like again, like I think of all of this stuff as sort of a learning opportunity. It's almost like those like the music NFT sort of, let's call it, format didn't quite connect with an audience. Maybe people don't think of music as like a collectible. There's a lot of layers there to unpack that are probably beyond the scope of this panel. But that's kind of where we're at, where we're almost in this existential mode right now, where we're trying to figure out where do we go. And again, like I have a theory. I started a company around this, so obviously I'm biased. So. I'm going to say that, but we're basically focused on that relationship between the artist and the fan, because that's not really can't be really controlled by the music industry. So if we focus on that, we can build on that and create open systems around that. I think we have a real shot at something here. So perhaps I'll leave it at that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a very interesting take, especially like not focusing on the asset side, but more the community engagement. And on that note, I do want to pose it to Joseph as well, because you're also like working on similar lines. Do you have, how do you see like the music industry reshaping, especially with like community involvement?
Yeah, K-pop industry is one of the fastest growing market in music industry, and observing the characteristics of K-pop fandom, there are a lot of fans who just started out, who who consume contents of K-pop idols or listening to their music, and they are like fundamental of the fandom of that artist. Who you can build popularity or reputation of the of the artist with this behavior of fandom. So what we want to do is, I think, with utilizing blockchain technology, we can authenticate or reward those fans' actions. And for the fans who purchase merchandise, albums, or tickets, I think they like to collect it. They like to collect it as a digital asset. So I think with the NFT technology, you can assetize those like merchandise, albums, or tickets, and that's what we are pursuing right now.
Okay, awesome. So I do want to change like a bit the direction and pose the question to Suji as well, especially like we talked about like fans and, well, like social media is of course day to day in our lives. Can you talk a bit about how you see the blockchain industry reshaping like social media when it comes to these topics?
Yeah, I mean, number one thing people are going to try to do and I don't advise. I think it's never gonna work. Is buy your sell a friend, trade your friend. That like it's a human nature thing. It's been like people trying to sell your friend for like 20 years since like MySpace, right? And every time someone say, "Hey, we have a new idea of like buy and sell a friend," I think 100% is gonna fail. We got pitched by Friendtech. Now I can probably say that their first round valuation was like 55 million. I don't know why Paradigm invest. It's a bad idea. Don't trade your friend. And then there's some rules of social. Like social, I think it's like human nature thing. It's like you need to learn anthropology, not really too much coding. Anthropology, please. And you'll figure out people love cat, also dog, but always cat first. For some reason I don't know. Always cat first. So when we were talking with like Tom, there's a lot of Tom mini app, Telegram mini apps. We don't know which one to take off. We don't even know whether this thing take off or not. Then we see like people playing with cats, like the Catizen app. We become the first investor. We help them a lot because people always love cat first. They also love dog, but always cat first. And then when you see like Twitter, back in the days, Twitter was like actually a music app. If you remember, Twitter was started from South by Southwest, which is a nerdy, geeky music festival in Austin. More than 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they started there, and somehow it became a social app because it's text to social, so you can text people to go to a bar to drink, do weed, whatever, and you know, it's music festival, and they start there, become more journalism, tech people. So it has some rules, like it has to be, you know, if you never start from nerdy, guys. You know, like you never start from nerdy guys. It's not gonna work. Even Facebook, it start from like, you know, attractive Harvard girls, right? There's like human nature thing. So when we see all these things over the years, we start 2016 to build social networks. When we see all these things over the years, I think first, you're repeating the you know, the mistakes that people are trying for decades. Second, I'm not sure why you are fighting each other. Like, you know, back in the days before Elon, when Twitter tried to integrate NFT, the major chains are shitting each other, like, oh, why you only support Ethereum and Polygon? Why don't Solana? And then the Flow thing is try to do the Dapper Lab integration with Instagram. Then they shit on each other. Now it's happening again. Like Bitcoin people say, oh, Nostr is D4 decentralized social app because Jack Dorsey was on that. But there's again like why you shit on each other. To the normie, it's the same thing. I think for entertainment and social, it's the natural thing of everyone. We all talk, we all game, we all social, we all, you know, drink and have music. Just respect what people love. Just don't add stupid ideology on top of it. Don't trade your friend. I hope more people can realize that before they start something. And we're here to tell them the lesson and to back them to do something. But so far, I failed to see so many innovation, but still very optimistic, as you guys said. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, trading your friend is not very ideal, but I do want to pass it on.
I bought your you know, Friendtech share.
So I do want to pass it on to both Ronan and Yoy to talk a bit about more like how you envision the gaming industry reshaping with blockchain. So I can directly pass it on to you, Ronan.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think social in general is games is the most social app that I see, you know, like in our lifetime, right? There's like 3.6 players in the world, right? It's like a third of the population in the world playing some sort of games. And I think we've seen that growth over the last about 15 years with mobile and with free-to-play. But I think what happened is like today is that the industry is really in this crossroads where, you know, like what you mentioned, RSC, like the majority of the games that are making money, it's like the top 1%, they're controlled by the distributions. And I think for the small developers and the indie developers, there's not as much opportunity to sustain themselves and fund their own, you know, their own creativity, right? And I think as a result of that, basically what's happening is that a lot of the game developers have to find other solutions and they have to look elsewhere, or they have to shut shop, right? So they're either forced to basically go into these extractive models that, you know, you have to use pay to win because otherwise you can't sustain yourself. Players hate it, but they still have to pay if they want to keep playing the game. So it's really created an industry where nobody's really happy and there's a misalignment. So I think with blockchain, to me, is really a technology. It's not like the solution. At the end of the day, like what is this technology can allow us to create that we couldn't exist before? What kind of a game experience that we couldn't do before? And I think like a lot of games in the last decade or so try to create these like open economies like RuneScape and WoW and Second Life, and it was either in the game or outside of the game. It's something that people gravitated to do because it's fun, something that player want, but it was always outside the game. And I think blockchain technology as a tool could potentially help secure those assets, so you can intermediate a lot of the off-chain and the gray markets, just bring it in the game, and now players can do what they want to do anyways, but in the game. Obviously, it's a bit far from now. Right? There's a lot of, basically think about an economy, right? Like, there's a lot of failing economies in the world. So it's like now you're trying to build a game economy from the ground up. There's a lot of ways that it can go wrong, but I think in the next 20 years, like probably most games or MMOs games that really rely on player-to-player interactions would be like having assets on chain and secure asset on chain, because I think it's something that people want, but really hard to do, and blockchain just allows that to be marginally easier when it comes to just like technology and speed to make that happen and iterate on these experiences.
Doi, do you have anything to add on like how blockchain will reshape the gaming industry in your perspective as well, working in the gaming industry yourself?
Sure. I talk about two main points. The impact of blockchain on ownership in gaming and high-risk nature of game industry. First is for game users. So blockchain technology holds a great potential for the gaming industry, particularly when it comes to ownership. Through NFTs, game player can truly own the in-game assets. This means gaming items, characters, and virtual real estate can be bought, sold, and traded securely, like physical assets. So the ownership of these digital assets is verifiable and immutable, so providing players with confidence and security. Second, for game developer, so blockchain addresses the challenge of the saturated and high-risk gaming industry. So traditional game game developers require significant upfront investment with no guarantee of success, making it highly risky business, perhaps globally, especially in Japan. So blockchain allows for a minimum and scalable approach through tokenization. By using token, developer can raise funds, make communities, and test game concepts incrementally. So this reduces financial risk and provides sustainable model for game industry. So blockchain also enables decentralized economies, allowing players to earn and trade tokens, further supporting game development and player engagement. So in essence, blockchain technology offers a new way to launch and sustain games, making the industry more accessible and resilient. That's it.
Super. I think there are like similar themes around like both in-game like assets in the different industries, and then also how you engage with the community. I feel like it's kind of similar across the different industries here. So we have 6 people, so limited time. So my last question is going to be around like what you think is the biggest barrier against adoption, and perhaps like what you're working on. And because we have limited time, it's going to be a bit more lightning mode. So we can go off with you, Andre, first.
Yeah, I think the largest blocker to adoption has more to do with, you kind of touched on it a little bit, like don't focus too much on the technology, focus on the use case, focus on what are people getting out of the experience. Obviously, if you're building like a technical product, that's kind of a different story, but I think we're all here talking about more consumer level mass adoption kind of stuff. If we focus on the experience and provide a fantastic user experience, and they're getting something that they can't get anywhere that's enabled by this, I mean, I think we're winning. and I think that's how we get people. It's not by sort of I think we all obviously believe in the tenets of this technology and why a lot of it's why we're here. But that's not. I don't think that's going to move the needle. I think you need to focus on the use case.
Yep. With blockchain, you can provide transparency in the process of building idol group or creators. But if you're asking users to install MetaMask and pay with Matic and calculate for the gas fee, I think it's gonna be really hard for them to participate in these actions. So what we really focused on is to designing the platform service as Web2 service. So you can easily sign in with your email, or you can buy NFT with fiat or credit card, and all the gas fees paid by the company. With those efforts, 90% of our users is their first time ever purchasing NFT experience in our platform. So I think that's the biggest challenge for us, and that's how we deal with those challenges.
I think the easiest part already done. Like get on board nerds and geeks and hardcore people already done. If you find like any nerd geeks people never heard of blockchain, they're not nerds, right? So now is the hard part. You onboard real people, normie people, and then you have to compete with the real Web2 apps like Twitter, Facebook, WeChat, Kakao, every major one. So the real users out there, it's our job to find ways to attract them. You can either use AirDrop or use some like cool activities, creator tools. I think we're not done good enough job on that. And stop fighting internally. There's no point from one chain to grab user from another chain, because it's the same group of people. So I think that's something we should do together, just to grab the user from the major social apps or major consumer apps. Web2, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think in our industry it's pretty straightforward. You need good games. There's no really way around it. I think if you look at startups and what's the ratio of success is like 1 to 10, and then games is really 1 to 20. So you really need way more games and a higher quality to actually be in the market in order to show that this technology could actually have legs in the gaming industry. So, I mean, I don't know if there's really anything else. And technology is obviously always going to be improving, and onboarding is always going to be improving. But at the end of the day, the only thing that will bring more non-crypto native people in the industry is a great experience that they can have fun, that they can invite their friends, that they can talk about on social, and that will bring more people in. I mean, I don't see any way around it really.
Ultimately, the key is increasing the number of application or gaming that captures user interest. So I think when users are interested, they will adapt the technology more willingly.
I think that's a great intro, especially like removing the blockchain element from like what we're doing, but just making it something where people can relate to and use. And I like the way Suji described like nerds versus normal people. That was kind of funny. But so when we started, Suji also had like a take that a blockchain, would gain mainstream adoption in 5 years in 2017. So I kind of want to hear your perspective today on like what you think are like some of the models that are successful, and if you see them like gaining mainstream adoption in the next like 2, 3, 5. What's your like take on this? Like when do you think we will get mainstream adoption in the relative industries? And yeah, sorry to ask you all the time first, but
no, I'll go first. Yeah, so like I kind of mentioned when I first started speaking, the music industry has sort of embraced it a little bit when it was making money, and then sort of completely ignored it when it stopped making money. So that was like sort of maybe the first taste of it. I don't know. I think like I think like just like maybe perhaps like focusing on not focusing on trying to sell sort of like again with music specifically I'm actually very curious about your perspective on this, because I feel like it's a little bit, the fandom in the US is like a little bit different when it comes to like indie artists in my world. but you know, there's not like a huge appetite for that in my context. Like people were actually like kind of taken aback by it, and weren't really sure. You know, like, well, what do you mean I have to pay $300 for like a collectible when I'm used to buying like a $30 vinyl? You know, and like a lot of people made that connection to sort of the art NFTs, and it didn't quite like it didn't quite connect in the same way. So I don't know. I think like what I'd like to see is again just like those you know. Putting the technology sort of a little bit more underneath the hood, and letting the experience sort of speak for themselves, and like I think that's like how we get there, you know.
In terms of mass adoption, I think we have one of the largest number of users and NFTs minted in Polygon. We have 170K users within 1 year and a half, and now we have about 3.2 million NFTs minted in our platform within the same time period. And for mass adoption, I think you need to provide what people really like to collect, or people really like to put their interest in it. And we adopted NFT in photo card format, which is familiar to K-pop fans, and they like to collect and trade it. And I think that's one thing we put more effort on to get some mass adoption.
Yeah, I think one thing clear now working is in the last cycle we see people like Reddit become the Reddit. They just pre-install wallet for you and assume this sticker or assume this avatar is NFT. Assume people understand. And create a lot of wallet on Polygon, and also the Starbucks thing create a lot of wallet on different chains. But clearly it's not working because people don't know what it is. I think it's important to convey these things clearly to the users. Okay, this is yours. And we need to unify the message to convey to the users, right? Right now, the one thing is like every chain is trying to represent the blockchain and say, hey, we are the legit guys. I think that's not necessary. And once you unify the voice to the users, just like Bitcoin already unified voice to normies. They're the digital gold. We need to unify a voice to the users like, oh, this is your, I don't know, digital vault or something, digital whatever. And then they are say, oh, okay, this is actually different from the Reddit thing I used to own. This is very different. And then they start to think about things differently. Without that transition, if you just add a wallet, just add an NFT to a major Web2 app, people try it, it's not working. And I think that's a barrier we need to overcome, yeah.
I'll have an unpopular opinion. I think that we're already in mass adoption because, you know, the U.S. government election is like, you know, there's a lot of talk about crypto already, right? Like MetaMask mentioned 30 million unique downloads of MetaMask alone. Like, I think we're there. I mean, there's a few hundred million people hold crypto in the world. So yeah, like, obviously we're not there in a world where, you know, we're using our phones. We don't care it's using the internet, right? But like, so we're not at the point that, you know, we're using apps. They're just using, you know, blockchain in the back end, and we just like don't care. So we're not there yet. But when it comes to like users and how many people hold crypto and how many people talk about crypto, it's a mainstream conversation right now. And I think for all of us who have been here since 2013 and 16, this is unheard of. Like it's like, you know, like we never believe we'll reach that point. There's so many times we thought it's gonna die, you know, and like it's actually didn't, and we're still here. So I think we're pretty much like in a good position already.
So we are still far from mass adoption. In Oasis, many games will be released in this year, and we are supporting them. So I believe this year is a crucial one for gaming and crypto industry. Yes.
Amazing. Okay, so we do have, we are on time for our panel. No more seconds. I think now we do kind of slide into the ramen bowl. I don't know how exactly that will work, but thank you. We'll see how that works. But thank you everyone for being here with us today. And all the audience for being listening as well. It was great to be here, and I'm excited to see where entertainment is going with blockchain.
Thank you.
I go first.
Thank you so much. Hey, a round of applause. One more. Make
あ
some
りがとう
noise.
ございました
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
ありがとうございま
Oh,
した
hold on. So, we've had a few close calls today. People like go rapid fire down it, and we've had some close calls. I know it's Japan and we have good health insurance, but not that good. All right.
ちょっと
So
ね一人ずついてくださいということです
yeah,
はい
just once the person's down there and they're almost out, then you're good to go. All right. You guys got the order ready? I mean, they look like gentlemen. So drum roll, please.
お
Oh, she's off.
ありがとうございます
Hey, いってらっしゃい.
いってらっしゃい
Who we got next? Ready?
Oh!
He's out of here. There he is. Very nice.
いってらっしゃい
Next one, いってらっしゃい.
あーちょっとコミカル
ボヨヨヨインが出た.
およ読んでましたよ
Okay,
晴れました
okay.
よさあ続いていってらっしゃい
Oh, いい音. Nice. Yo, he just two-footed the egg.
自分で蹴った
You see, they did
い
a
ってらっし
Hey,
ゃい
there he goes.
おーよく
Oh, that's pretty
おー
good.
気をつけてくださいねいってらっ
All
し
right.
ゃい
One more. Oh!
おー
Yo, did you see he was taking a selfie?
撮りながら
セルフィー撮りながら今言ったよ.
さすがですね
Damn.
SNS ですよいやー素晴らし
I like
い
that.
ありがとうございました
Yeah, thank you.